Whatever happened to Sampdoria, a massive club in the early 90s, have been relegated from the Serie A with 19 points. So today is going to be one of the most difficult rebuilds as they are currently undergoing a takeover. There is no money at the club whatsoever. We're going to be trying to get Sampdoria back to being an established Serie A side, possibly back into Europe at the end of these 5 years as well. So stick around as we try and rebuild one of the most iconic Italian sides from the 90s. What's going on there, guys? Kempy here, and welcome back to the Sort It Out SI channel. Welcome back to another Kempy video over here as well. I hope you guys are all well. It's been some time since I've done a rebuild on the channel. I recorded this last week and the file managed to corrupt itself, which is fantastic. And it's lots and lots of fun when that happens, because it means that everything is gone and I have to start again. But here we are, this time on a Sunday as well. Again, apologies, it was not out on Thursday this week. I started a new job this week, so everything's been a little bit hectic, but here we are to give you guys the Sampdoria rebuild, and it's with a tactic from a couple of weeks ago. So first of all, I'm going to show you the tactic we are using. It is the 4-2-2 asymmetric. Again, this video was released about 2 weeks ago now, so I'll quickly go through the tactic at some point in this video. But to show you what we are doing today, it's rebuilding Sampdoria. Now, they have been relegated to the Serie B. A 19-point finish in the Serie is an absolute stinker from a massive club like Sampdoria with so much history. Like I say, early 90s, they won a Serie A. They've won a European Cup Winners' Cup. There's 4 Coppa Italias to their name as well. When, as you know, early sort of noughties, they were, bounced around the top sort of 5 or 6 teams. And then since then, they got relegated in the 10s. They got relegated now. And, it's a massive rebuild job. Finances here, they look good at the moment. £38 million. I assure you it is not good. There is not a lot of money here at the club whatsoever. I've been given a £3.6 million transfer budget. We've got £107,000 in the wage bill, and I've had to release a lot of players as well. So we are going to go into the transfers nice and quick, but first of all, to show you the released players, there's a hell of a lot. Stopper, Coloni, Campagna, Gaffi, Montevego, Pavolotti, Bianchi and Malagradia as well as club icon Fabio Quadriella has left the club in real life, so I've made it realistic in the fact that he has left. He's off to Bordeaux in France, which is quite exciting in our save. Orkanomu, Napoli, Hesse, another massive player, obviously so much talent, been at Barcelona, PSG, Sampdoria, done absolutely nothing. So he's off to Alaves for his 4,000th move in his career. Thomas Rincon, Jason Maruno, both massive names. So again, Eric Gerby as well, also released. So lots of players just simply gone out of the door. And also leaving the door was Andrea Conci, Antonio Candreva and Francesco Caputo, as well as Medileris, Maligadini, Depolodi, Vere, Benedetti, Laguema, Falcone, Muru and Matteo De Luca. And we've sold a lot of players, so the squad was literally down to its bare bones. So I've managed to bring in a total of about 10 players there, which we are going to go through very quickly. There's some decent young players in there. One man that I like very much is Martin Vitek from Sparta Prague. You guys have probably heard it by now. I love Sparta Prague. I've been to see them in real life, and I saw this guy play, and he was fantastic. So Martin Vitek has been brought in, £6 million. A lot of our budget has gone on him, but a 3-star player, 5-star potential, Czech international already at the age of 20. A very nice signing. Eddie Salcedo's also come in, £3.2 million. A very good 21-year-old striker. Decent stats on him now. He's never really developed into Inter Milan hoped he was going to be back in the late 10s, sort of the 19-20 season. He was, tipped to be unbelievable. I think it was Dr. Benji's Inter Milan save. He was unbelievable on that. So, I've got memories of him being unbelievable on that. So, we'll see if we can get him back to that. Zito is another player that I do really like as well. Angolan right winger. I've signed him a couple of times. This time we've signed him from Cagliari. He has come here to be at Sampdoria back in the Serie B. He's just got promoted with Claudio Ranieri in real life, which is quite exciting. But he's coming here to say hello to the Sampdoria fans, and £2 million, a decent signing. Talasco Segovia as well is someone that is already coming in real life, 600k centre midfielder. A banging signing, to be fair. 5-star potential and 2.5-star ability. So I won't take the credit, but I'm very happy with it. Salvatore Elia has come in as a backup winger. Sam Lammers was here last season. We've brought him in on a free transfer. Now I'm sure this guy's just signed for Rangers in real life. This sim was done around 2 weeks ago. So do not hate me for that. Sam Lammers is going to come back in on a free contract and hopefully fire us back into the Serie A. Alessandro Zanoli also back in, right back, 22 years of age. He's fantastic on this year's game. So he has come in. Recchio, a 32-year-old midfielder, come in to give us a bit more experience in midfield and hopefully could just be the man that we need just to, you know, keep our heads level-headed. I mean, he's got a 60 in aggression. He might not do that too well, but keep the ball ticking along, get us moving nice and good, and hopefully we can dominate the league. And Alan Halilovic as well, we all know this guy. You know, back in FM15, he was probably the absolute talk of the town. Now, he's been at Recchia, Reading, Birmingham, Sampdoria now, and he's hopefully going to revive his career. He's injury prone, but he's got fantastic flair, fantastic agility, fantastic technique. He can dribble, he can pass. He's not great at finishing, but as a right inverted winger or as that advanced playmaker in the cam role, he will be fantastic. And talking of that advanced playmaker in the cam role, let's go through the formation. It's Aldero in goalkeeper, sweeper keeper on defend, take fewer risks. A fullback on support on the right, shoot less often and sit narrower. A fullback on support on the left, shoot less often and sit narrower. Two ball playing defenders, both with shoot less often. An anchor man just in front, no further instructions. And a DM on support just in front, on tackle harder. Now Ronaldo Vieira was out on loan last season. We've brought him back in to the starting lineup. He was alone at Torino. Possibly unrealistic that he'd stay at the club, but, you know, we'll have to see. We couldn't get much money for him, so it was more of a massive help for us to keep him. Filip Juric, again, is unhappy, wanting to leave. I had to keep some players. I literally had like 8 players in the squad. So Filip Juric has also stayed, 31 years old, way too good for this league. But as the advanced playmaker on support with roam from position, he is going to be extremely, extremely helpful. Zito, the inverted winger on attack on the right-hand side, sit narrower. I told you in yesterday, my video that I released of the tactic for the MLS, the trequartista is one of my new favourite positions, and a trequartista on attack is what we have used with no further instructions, next to an advanced forward on attack up front with dribble more on him. So mentality wise, it's set to positive in possession. It's a shorter passing system, pass into space, play out of defence, low crosses, run at defence, be more expressive, and a higher tempo in transition, roll it out, distribute quickly, counter and counter press, and out of possession. It's a lower defensive line, a higher pressing system, pressing much more often and preventing the short goal distribution. So you do get a bit of a gap between your back line and your forward line, and this was created by the legend that is Zinklo. Massive shout out to him. He's been massively helpful in the last few weeks, especially with starting the job. Sending tactics my way, so you're an absolute legend, mate. I think there's another Zinklo tactic coming next week, so look forward to that one, because as well as this tactic might look a bit bare down the left hand side, just having fullbacks and, you know, no winger on the left, it actually works very, very well. So to show you that you believe me out where it works, we're going to go into some games now. Competitions wise, we're not expecting to win the Serie Coppa Italia, but we are expecting to win the Serie B. We are predicted to come third behind Cagliari and Verona, but with the added bonus of this tactic and the new transfers we have made, hopefully we can take them to the very, very top. If you guys can, make sure to like the video, subscribe to Sort It Out SI, and also come and subscribe on my channel as well. You absolute bunch of legends. The support from all of you Sort It Out SI guys has been fantastic recently. And some of you might not have seen a rebuild I released on Wednesday. It's, you know, absolutely banged for sort of my channel at the moment, and it's fantastic. So Manchester United rebuild. So if you are going to sit there and watch this one and you want to see a United rebuild as well and how quickly we can win a treble, head over there. I'll pop the link in just above my little head, and you can go and see that one as well. And if you do come over from this channel, put Sort It Out SI in the description below, so I know how many of you legends have come across. Now, you're here for Sampdoria and you want to know how we got on in season number 1 in the Serie B. Voila. 95 points, 74 goal difference, 13 points clear of Verona in second. Can you believe we were predicted to come below Cagliari? You just come in 11th place. Absolute stinker, I have to say. They must have not won the playoff thing that Italy do, because they got promoted in real life. But yeah, Sampdoria smashed it. Media predict us to come second overall. We obviously absolutely battered it and come first, and by battering it, we literally lost 3 games all season. We only drew 5. We won the rest. 97 goals scored, conceding just 23. Possession-wise, we're down in third on 58%. We had the most shots. We didn't concede the fewest shots. Verona were quite strong on that one. Very, very defensively sound from Verona. I imagine they conceded very similar to the fewest as well. They did indeed. So we were pushed right to the end by Verona, but 13 points clear in the end. We were massively helped by the man that has just signed for Rangers in real life, Sam Lammers, 28 goals and 6 assists. He is a very, very good striker. I've liked this guy for quite a while since he's been at sort of PSV and SC Hervening. I've sort of known about him from playing old FIFA career mode. So, yeah, fantastic young player in Sam Lammers. Manolo Gabbiadini as well did stick around with us, and he scored 19 goals and 9 assists in the Serie B, obviously from his days at Southampton. He suits that trequartista role to an absolute T, so very happy to see him doing well. Eddie Salcedo off the bench, 15 goals, 6 assists, and Zito as well with 9 goals, 24 assists from that right wing role. Martin Vitek, 11 goals, 1 assist. Philippe Juric in that cam role, 5 goals and 7 assists. Ronaldo Vieira doing bits, Thomas Aguero doing bits from the left back role as well. So players contributing all over the gaff is fantastic to see, but money wise, again, they don't understand. We've been promoted into a brand new league, £2 million, 150k in the wage budget is quite nice, but it's not going to go very far. And obviously with us now being in the Serie A, I imagine we're going to have to spend a lot more money on trying to get players in wages wise, and it's going to be a rough time. Players already looking to leave the club. Is anyone going on the contracts? Let's have a little look. 2024, we've got Chabot and Nutiek, the 2 centre-backs, are already leaving us. We've got no backup goalkeeper. We've got £2 million to spend, and this team, as well as it done in the Serie B, it got absolutely battered in real life on 19 points. So we'll have to see what we can do. So let's go forward to season number 2, show you the transfers we've made, and also how we finished in our first season back in the Serie A. So season 2 is the season we bring in cover star Moise Kean, and you can see he's a 4.5 star current ability, 4.5 star potential ability. Scored 27 goals and 7 assists in the Serie A. We signed him for £4.5 million. A season after playing 29 games for Juventus, we got him in an outrageously cheap deal. And what a signing it was as well. If we can keep this guy around, we might win the league in the next sort of year or two, because what an absolute signing. He's fantastically quick. He's got great determination, great finishing, great first touch. He just doesn't really get to do it much in real life. He seems to go to too big of clubs. I mean, Everton, you know, less said about them the better. But PSG, he scored 13 goals in 26 games there, but a massive club where he might not play every single game. Juventus, massive club. You want to get to play every single game, and he's back there again. And he needs to just come to Sampdoria, because he'll score 25 goals in the Serie A. An absolute dangerous signing in Moise Kean. Yassin Adli also come in on loan this season. He played 40 games in that Karen role, 8 goals and 8 assists. We have got an option of spending £5 million on him if we can. 2 free transfers, having to replace the 2 centre-backs that have left the door. Number 1 is Giorgio Cittadini, 2.5 star, 4.5 star potential. He was on loan in Serie B last season on a 6.89 average rating. We've had to settle with him. He's played 22 games for us, doing okay. And one signing that I'm very happy with, again on a free transfer, this time from Chelsea. He's been at Spezia in real life recently as Ethan Ampadu. Not doing too much in Italy, but has also been at Venezia. And he played lots of games there in the Serie A. And he's finally come in to Sampdoria, settled in with 37 appearances, just the 1 goal for us though. But very, very impressive on a 6.97 for Ethan Ampadu. It's great to see. And players leaving the club. Well, there's a lot of players that went to Olahanese in Portugal, but players that also left was Gerard Yepes and Maracha. Did I bring anyone last season? That isn't new. I don't think so. They're all sort of last season sales and signings. I don't think there's anyone here either. Alin Halilovic actually left for £2 million, to be honest, to Zjombuk, which is actually, you know, a decent sale for us. We signed him for free, and you know, for £2 million he's gone to Zjombuk. So very good business from us. He is gone, which is nice to see. But the question is, how do we get on in the Serie A? 27 goals from Moise Kean means we probably haven't got relegated. And we've done very, very well indeed, actually. Just 6 points off coming in a European place. 3 points off Fiorentina, who actually got Europa League, I'm guessing from winning the Europa Conference League. Very, very happy with how this season went. Roma winning the league, Atalanta in second place, and we were just miles clear of where I expected us to be. All season as well. I mean, we had points of being in 4th in the position, maybe for a game, but you know, settling down in mid-table, ending up coming in 8th position. We were 31 points clear of relegation as well, which is lovely to see. And obviously we had an unbelievable striker up front in Moise Kean, which is very, very helpful. But Zito again for £2 million. If you guys have never used this guy, he seems to overperform for me every time I use him. 11 goals, 22 assists. Sam Lammers with 9 goals and 10 assists as well. This time playing in the trequartista role. Martin Vitek getting 7. Yacine Adli getting 8 and 8. Manolo Gabbiadini was 6 and 8 off the bench. It's good to see as well. And data hub wise, we were very good at scoring goals, conceding goals a little bit lackluster. Again, it's quite an attacking formation, so we might concede a few too many goals. But, you know, sitting with a 14 goal difference, positive position in the league, knocked out in the 3rd round of the Coppa Italia. I wish we'd done better there. It's a very, very impressive season. Finances wise, 6 million. That ain't going to help us very much, is it? We're going to have to see if we can sell some players or maybe even just, again, go to free transfers. So let's see what we can do in season number 3. Well, this season we got a little bit shafted. I do holiday sim and I set sims up to start simming. Once I've done all my transfers, I reject all offers that come in, but it doesn't take into account for release clauses. And both Moise Kean and Martin Vitek got poached in August while we were on holiday. I didn't see it until the season was finished, which is absolutely gutting. But Martin Vitek has moved on to Borussia Dortmund. His release clause was only £1 million more than we signed him for. So he's gone on there. He's played 18 games there already and he's going to be an absolute star. And Moise Kean has gone back to PSG again. He's now got a value of £65 million. And yeah, only played 3 games all season. So Moise, I hope you're happy, mate. You're earning your 145 grand a week. Absolutely fuming, which absolutely shafted us because we didn't really spend too much money at all. In fact, we only spent 62k this season. One signing was Haji Wright on a free transfer, 28 years of age. He eventually had to try and fill the boots of Moise Kean. He'd done a decent job of it, 18 goals and 4 assists for him. Kanya Fujitomo replaced Yacine Adli. Obviously, he was just a loan signing. We didn't have enough money to try and sign him. So Kachi Fujitomo come in and didn't play a single game for us, which is fantastic. And that's because Gianluca Gaetano come in and played every single game for us. 40 games in that cam role and was very, very good. Just 26 years of age. A free signing from Napoli. So happy to get him through the door. Oscar is a backup left back that come in 28 games for us this season. He's done very, very well as well on a £62,000 fee from Slavia Prague. And Marcos Paulo was a backup winger who we signed on loan. Probably won't ever come back in again. He is again on a free transfer, but I doubt we'll bring him in. And, you know, with them 2 sales, it left us high and dry and finishing down in 14th position. 15 points is probably around the sort of swing I would expect. Again, we started very, very well. And then, you know, as the team got more and more tired and as we were left with a hole in our back line and up top, it was a little bit difficult to replace them as, you know, Haji Wright or Eddie Salcedo were playing the games. Eddie Salcedo hardly played. So it's Haji Wright playing up front with Sam Lammers. That's definitely not, you know, a top half Serie A defence. And then it would have been Citadaldi. No, wasn't it? It was Alex Ferrari who played at the back with Ampadu. So we should have had all the pace in the world, even though he's only got 9 pace. But he's a Ferrari, so that doesn't make too much sense. He's going to play lots of games at centre-back. And again, definitely not good enough for the top half of the Serie A. So we got a little bit shafted this season by the sort of the way the sort of save works and how I set up these rebuilds, because they take a lot of time to make. So I have to sort of, you know, be aware of my time. But Zito is now worth £17.5 million, 7 goals and 12 assists from him. So he's progressing very nicely. And a bit the story of the rebuild is the legend of Zito. But that's season 3, and sadly not a lot to say on that one. Absolutely shafted and could kill the momentum for this Sampdoria side. I was hopeful after coming to 8th that we might get into Europe. Now we've lost our 2 best players, not so hopeful. However, we have got £22 million in the bank, and you can already see I'm busy. We're trying to make some signings, so let's see who we can bring in for season number 4. Well, we leaked some of the transfers there, and we're also going to ask you guys if you can like and subscribe to the channel, because, you know, it helps massively. It helps me massively if you come over to mine as well. And also go and show Anders some love on his new channel, well, his same channel, but new branding of Shadow Striker as well. We're all massively appreciative of all the support you guys give. So if you can head over anywhere and show support, it's much, much appreciated. Now this season, we had a lot of money to spend, and we did spend 18.25 million. Now, you guys saw a few of the signings we were going for, including Luka Vranovic, a £5 million signing from Dinamo Zagreb to play in that cam role. Elias Alert was a right back I tried to sign. We did manage to get him in. £3.2 million. Matteo Politano, old but fantastic Italian right winger. £2 million from Atlanta. Geraldo Becker, old but not so fantastic. Signed from Union Berlin, and Ilyas Husseini as well, a free transfer from PSG. But the main signing was Zeki Amundi, a player that I like very, very much and also works fantastically in that Trek Watista role. Played 38 games, 13 goals, 3 assists. So very happy with Zeki Amundi coming in. There was no further massive sales. Thankfully, we didn't get poached too much, other than selling Haji Wright for £2 million to Burnley. We did go and play a single game, but the value of, just someone moving to England is outrageous. We sold him for £2 million. He hasn't played a single game, and he's now worth £18 million. Like, how does that actually work? It's absolutely mental. But signings-wise, we managed to improve the squad a little bit, and we managed to get ourselves out of that sort of bottom rut, as we were. I think we were, close to relegation last year. But this season, it looks like we got Europa League. We didn't, I can assure you that. We did manage to get 49 points, just a -2 goal difference. Much more solid this season. And another man, star of the show, Zito, with a fantastic season. 10 goals and 16 assists. This guy, I cannot say it enough, is absolutely fantastic. I really, really like him. You can pick him up at the start of your save, so pretty much nothing. So, we might not have got very far with this Sampdoria side, but we've certainly learned that, you can sign some players for very cheap that can go on to be very, very good. I mean, the average ratings of this guy has been fantastic. I mean, in the Serie B, he killed it. Versus in the Serie A, killed it. A little bit of a slower season last season, but back to a very, very good season this season. So happy to, I've found someone like Zito in the amongst of them absolute mess of Sampdoria. Finances-wise, we're looking okay. £20 million in the bank. We get as much as 45 when all the sales went out. Not too much debt as well, so pretty clear there. I think it's just Italian sides have no money, and the top sort of Milan, Inter, Juve, Lazio, Roma, Atlanta, Napoli are very, very good. Obviously, Torino and Verona managed to break into that this season, which we almost did in Season 1 in Serie A. So, you can break into it, but it's very, very tough. I mean, even with our best season we've had so far, we still would have finished 8th, just outside of that top 7. So I'm going to go forward to Season 5, see if we can do anything there as well. It's a shame we've not done too much in the Coppa Italia either. Just sort of been dominated every single time and got knocked out very early on. So a shame, really. This rebuild hasn't gone quite to plan, but we've found a few golden gems. We've had an absolute star signing in Moise Kean as well. I mean, has he gone on to do absolute bits? He might be, the best thing to come out of this. He's transfer listed and wanted and left out the Champions League squad, so he should have just stayed with us, shouldn't he? He's played 18 games in 3 years. I assure you he'd be happier and better if he stayed with us, and probably on more money, because he'd have got a bigger, probably a more middle range move to like a Roma rather than PSG, and scored lots and lots of goals rather than going to PSG and sitting on the bench to Mbappe. So that's what you get, Moise Kean. But we're going to go ahead now, Season 5, show you guys the finish of this rebuild and where you guys can pick this up on the Patreon. So Season number 5 ends in a very similar way. 14th place, 39 points. Our worst season yet in the Serie A. We also signed Anthony Martial on a free contract at the end of his career. He did absolutely nothing, scoring 11 goals all season. The team ended up, we have Martial, Zeki Amundi up front, Vranovic, Zito, Ronaldo Vieira, Christopher Axelden, who has been here from the very start, just developing in the background, is now in the starting lineup. Oscar Bosco Totalo is a signing I signed this summer, Ampadu Gela Aduero. On the bench, you've got Stankovic, Joseda, Citadaldi, Cambiasso, Segovia, Pape Mateta Sara signed this summer as well, Matteo Politano, Benjamin Tahirovic, Sam Lammers, and Lorenzo Luca has also been signed this summer, the 6'7" giant. So we've signed a few very good players this summer. It didn't amount to too much in game. Data hub wise, again, conceding just too many goals. And, this is sometimes the problem with these rebuilds where we don't, try and change the tactic at all. I try to keep it to the rebuild, but going forward, I might, tweak it as we go along to suit the team, because we might get a little bit better results. But, 14th place, we've solidified them as back in the Serie A. Had a very, very good season starting off. So, it was a good fun rebuild, and the thumbnail was an absolute banger. So I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Like the video, subscribe to myself, subscribe to sortitoutsi, and I'll speak to you next time.